What's good, everybody? So today we're going to be talking about some pretty big changes that are happening in the gacha space and predominantly around HoYoverse. Now, some of you who've been watching my content for a while may remember that a couple of weeks ago I made a bunch of videos talking about this changes everything for gacha games. HoYo devs forced to listen. Honkai Star Rail changed everything. And in these two videos, we were basically talking about how EU regulations are going in the direction of pushing a lot of gacha companies, lots of other companies and monetary systems as well, but specifically targeting, you know, premium currencies in games, targeting those systems and making sure that these companies actually put a dollar equivalent, right? A dollar equivalent next to these premium currencies, or being able to purchase pulls outright. Yes, like X amount of dollars is an X amount of pull, one of those options. That was in this video here, where we spoke about the European Union, its changes, and how it will push a lot of predatory monetary systems to be way more transparent about the actual monetary value that you do. Because we all know the reason why premium currencies exist is to disconnect your brain from the actual amount of money you're spending, right? You spend, what, 50 pounds on currency, you get a double top up, suddenly you're like, oh my god, I have 12,000 gems, I have so many. 12,000 is a big number, right? I have so many. It's there to mentally distance you from what you're actually spending, and that's why it is predatory. But the EU said no. The EU said no. And then a couple days later, we saw some, you know, leaks about Honkai Star Rail, where in a future patch, you will be able to see the dollar equivalent of pulls to tickets, essentially. But now there has been another development. Yes, it is going even further. It is now happening in Genshin Impact. You will be able to see actually the price per pull. That's what it is. You are going to be seeing a price per pull. This 60 Genesis crystals is 0.07 of a pull, which is $1.32 per pull. You're able to see the price per pulls here, okay, going all the way from 215, 207 to 198. Obviously, the worst value apparently is the $30. Right? If you want the best bang for your buck, obviously it's going to be your $100 packs. And they also have to include this information in their, you know, the little disclaimers. In the disclaimers right here. The consolidated probability of obtaining 5-star event exclusive characters, including wish guarantees and capturing radiance, is 1.103%. The cost of obtaining a 5-star event exclusive character may vary from $1.98 to $475.02 if purchased in USD. So they're finally making it obvious. The maximum amount you will have to spend to guarantee a character is $475 in Genshin Impact, which is staggering. Yeah, you can go, you either spend $2 or you become Fob Master and spend $475, which is crazy. And having this system is to, you know, make people more aware of how much money they're spending. It's to maybe scare off kids to see how much they're pulling for. I'll be real though, I don't think any child is looking at this right here and being like, oh, I care about this. Like, I don't think any kid is really gonna care. They're still gonna be like, oh, crystals and pull. You know what I mean? But I think it's definitely a step in the right direction, okay? But there is also an update for age verification processes. Yes, of course the EU is clamping down more on the whole, everything came to fruition because of, you know, children playing these games. There have been so many stories of, you know, children having your mum's or dad's phones, spending a lot of money without the parents noticing, and suddenly you have a 2,000 bill to Cognisphere, right? That's not something that you particularly would want. So now they have a new age verification process. So let's go take a little read of what they have right here. Age verification process for US players. For instance, this is for US players. I can guarantee this will also be implemented in EU. This is probably in response to both EU and FTC guidelines changing. Not forgetting that Genshin did have to face a fine not too long ago from the FTC. We all remember that, right? We all remember that happened. So that's honestly, the Genshin stuff is probably due to that happening, so the Honkai Star Rail stuff, but the EU push is definitely, I think, the most recent development. Okay, the most recent development. So here we go. Dear travelers, we are required by law to age verify US player accounts. The age verification process will be rolled out to all US players by May 20th while login, if already have one, or account registration. Please ensure to provide your age information by July 18th, 2025. That was already implemented in EU. Oh, this is already implemented in EU? Okay, that would make sense if that is the case. Failure to verify will result in account suspension. In-game friends and chat records will be deleted. No further notifications post-suspension due to inaccessible account information as required by law. If the verification is not completed by July 20th, 2026, the personal information of your HoYoverse account will be deleted permanently. Okay, so what this essentially means is that your account will get suspended, or your friends will be gone. You won't be able to access things in your account, and your personal information will be deleted. That'll be your payment information, anything that you've put in will all be deleted. This does not state that your whole account will be deleted. It never says that. It says account suspension. So there could be like a time period where you will have to wait to get unsuspended, and you will be required to put in your new information, your age stuff, your age verification things. But nowhere here does it say your account will be deleted. I saw a few people on Twitter being like, oh my god, they're gonna delete your accounts. No, it's not. It seems to be suspensions. It will be for a period of time, and then you'll be able to put in your information in and start again. But unfortunately, you know, all your friend records will be deleted because, hey, you haven't age checked, right? In Europe, you basically check a box. I'm over 16, no date or similar. Got you. So probably something similar like that. Honestly, it will probably be something very similar. Check a box or input your date of birth, something like that. They won't delete accounts as people probably quit. Yeah, exactly. You'll probably get suspended, but I'm pretty sure they'll find a way for you to be able to reclaim your account and input your information next time. Yeah, it seems very dumb that they would in fact just delete accounts outright. But this is definitely a step in the right direction. Obviously, the age verification processes, and also having all of this, being able to see the price to polls, and it's been happening for a while. It's been the talk of a town for a number of weeks. Okay. Not strong enough, people will just lie. This brings up a really interesting topic of conversation, right? One that I might have a controversial opinion of. I don't like age verification checks. The simple I'm over 16 tick and whatever, I think is fine. Do you know what I don't like even more? Asking for ID. The last thing that I would want is for a company to ask for ID to verify your age. There is absolutely no way any of these companies need any kind of ID or form of identification like that for you to play their goddamn game. It's the same thing with the whole Discord thing recently, right? Like, are your children safe on Discord? Should you have to ID check and verify? Fuck no. I don't want anyone holding those kinds of like identifying informations. Do you know what the #1 way to protect your child is? In my opinion, it's being a better parent and knowing what your kid is doing and having parental locks on things. Most games have parental controls, parental guidelines. If you're a good parent and you're worried about what your child is doing, put them on. And games should include better parental controls. That to me is a far better solution than implementing forced age checks that require you to submit identification. I think that is terrible. I don't think that should ever be a thing. But better parental controls is really the only option. Yeah, that's kind of how I think about that. The less personal information the companies have on you, the better. Fuck ID verification. I agree. Fuck ID verification. I don't think it's a good idea. Have better parental controls, and that's really how I feel about that sort of thing. We have a tweet here by Ryuku who says, HoYo is now showing the theoretical cost of characters. Great. However, they're only showing it in dollars, even in other regions. Quite a few in Japan are annoyed by this. I want them to show the localized cost in Japanese yen. I feel that it's not a huge deal. It's an annoyance for sure. but hopefully there'll be localized things. But there might be discrepancies between the currencies, and there's all sorts of tariff stuffs happening that are changing prices weirdly. I don't know how that works. I don't know how tariffs of products or physical products are changing the costings of like actual in-game stuff. But that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, that's just an update on what is currently going on in this situation. It's a step in the right direction, and this is a W government moment, you know. That's how I view this, a W government moment, and I hope there's gonna be more to come. I would like a button that lets you just directly purchase with currency rather than, honestly, for me, get rid of premium currencies altogether. I think it's dumb. I think this is the next step, is just get fucking rid of that. And I think with the EU laws, that's what they're pushing for. No premium currencies. You are able to have an option to go direct from fiat currency to the thing that you want. That's what it is. Government delete 50-50? Who knows? Maybe the EU government will go after Gamba banners next. Who knows? Who knows? So that's a quick little update about this. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm very interested in this sort of development. I've been covering it quite a bit over the past few weeks. So remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want some more base takes, I'm live every single day on Twitch. The link is in the pinned comment. I hope to see you over there. I appreciate y'all, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.